Okay, so I want to talk about our Lord and Savior, the Leper. And the reason that is basically what we know of the future of Darkest Dungeon 2 at this exact moment is after Crimson Core comes out, they're going to work on bringing Leper and Hellion basically into the new path system. So into 2025, give them more interesting skills, more interesting paths. And Leper in particular, I want to talk about because I really do like Leper. He's just so frustrating to play. Not only is somebody that has like a lot of hours or a lot of experience in this game, but especially, obviously, exponentially, he's more frustrating as a new player. And I think that's really bad, or I think that feels really bad. Because sometimes people will tell me, they'll be like, oh yeah, I tried the Leper once or twice, he's not for me, he's too frustrating. And that's not their fault, because it's not the player's fault. They're totally correct in not playing him. He is kind of like a ball and chain sort of character, where he's like a little bit of dead weight, because he's just got his frustrating aspect. So I kind of want to just talk about my hopes for the rework, and what I hope that they do, and some ideas and kind of some goals on making him feel a little better. So, if you don't know who I am, I stream every day, twitch.tv/MarinerHawk. Link is in the description, alongside anything else that you would need. So, I will be playing Crimson Court, obviously when it comes out, a ton. And I will also be playing Hellion and Leper when it comes out on the beta. So, that'll be a lot of fun. So, I want to start by talking about the flaws that everybody knows that he has. I'm not going to talk about anything super mind-blowing or anything, but I do want to list them just in case, just because they're worth mentioning. So the thing that always comes up is this combat start blinds. Not only are they frustrating, but they can't be resisted. So that, first of all, it doesn't explain that anywhere. I think that is unintuitive, and I think the fact that you just can't do anything about it is very unintuitive. And the reason, honestly, the reason why that these can't be resisted is because Tempest. The free debuff resist that he gets from Tempest, basically it would make Tempest far and away the best path. So, you can, I mean, if you can argue that it is, but between Tempest and Poet at least, they both serve good purposes, and they're both strong in their own ways. But it's not like one is way better than the other, right? But if these were resistible, it would be like that. So I think this is a slam dunk. I think this definitely, I think they're gonna lower this to 1 blind or change the percentages, or at the very least, I can almost guarantee you, without, I don't have any insider information, but I can almost guarantee you that they're gonna make these partly just because it's been said for so long, and that's been kind of a consistent feedback, and also because they kind of did that. Think of it with like the unchecked power tokens with the occultist rework. They made it so the burn always happens per unchecked power token, but it's resistible now. And it's just more intuitive, because if you give him a burn poultice or you give him a burn resist trinket, you can at least, there's a little bit of like counterplay to it. Counterplay to the burns. As opposed to just having no counterplay here. It just honestly feels really bad. So I love themes in games and around characters. So, for example, you talk about, like, Runaway, for example. Runaway, the burn character, has an ability called Cauterize, which cauterizing a wound is something that you would do in real life if you had, you know, a wound and you had access to burn. I love that. That's really, really cool. You talk about Highwayman. Highwayman, the robber guy, you know, the criminal having highway robbery. Like, just little things like that. I think it's cool. I think it's cool when not only heroes have characters, or heroes have story, sorry, but it's implemented into their kit also. It's into their style. So you feel their lore kind of like as you play them. Obviously, the Man-at-Arms, the shield character, having being having the opportunity to defend other characters. Obviously, that's from DD1 also. You talk about Abomination. Abomination stressing out his own teammates. He goes beast form, because it makes sense, right? Because, you know, you'd be pretty stressed out too if your teammate and friend was doing that. So just stuff like that I love. So I like, in theory, that Leper has this blindness that you have to worry about because he has leprosy. It makes sense. But I think it's dialed up a little too much. And this is a problem with the DD1 also, in my opinion. So the Leper has been a bottom tier character, or the worst character, or however you want to word it, for like 10 years now, between DD1 and DD2, right? And I kind of would like if they took the shackles of his theme, or take it off of him. So I understand, it makes sense that he can only move one. It makes sense that he doesn't have any move abilities. It makes sense with the leprosy, right? But at this point, at what point do we get into the themes that are no longer fun? You know what I mean? Like, the theme at this point I think they can dial it back a little bit, because at this point it's kind of getting to the point where it's not too fun. Right, the Man-at-Arms, let's look, for example, the Man-at-Arms has one eye. He doesn't have blindness issues. He doesn't have any abilities that he has a chance to miss, right? So Leper gets kind of the negative themes. Something like the Man-at-Arms does it. The Man-at-Arms, he's got PTSD or whatever, right, from his combat. It's not like he has a chance of getting horror on any of his abilities, right? That other characters don't have the downsides to their heroes nearly as much as the Leper does. So I would like if they dialed the Lepers back down a little bit. I wouldn't mind if he was still a character that dealt with it more than anybody else, because obviously leprosy is pretty debilitating, but other characters don't feel it in the same way. It kind of feels like he's almost like from a different game, balance-wise, and I just don't think that feels very good, right? Like, they had, in DD1, Abomination couldn't be with religious heroes, right? Makes sense. Pretty good thematicism, or for the themes, it's pretty good, but they took it out because it was too frustrating, right? So I think there's precedent for maybe dialing back the themes a little bit, and I would really like to do one with the Leper. There's no reason that he needs to be this bad and this frustrating and this ass for like 10 years at this point. We can let him be a good character, in my opinion. Let's dial it back. He doesn't have to be the best character in the game, but let's at least make him playable without feeling like you're making a mistake, you know what I mean? So one of the most common things that I see said about Leper is give him more move resist, which, by the way, is a good idea. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's wrong to say that, but I'm going to show you why that is not alone going to fix the issue. So how it works with move resist is if he's going to get pushed back here, if the Leper's going to get pushed back, it checks his move resist. But if the Highwayman, for example, gets pulled forward, it does not check the Leper's move resist. So he could have a million move resist, doesn't matter, he can still technically get shuffled. Maybe not himself, but through his teammates. So my argument basically is that whether it be through Bash giving 2 Immobilizes or whatever it may be, I would like if he had at least a little bit more access to Immobilize to stop this from happening. So this is a clip from my stream. What happens here, I'll tell you, is my Leper, who's Poet, by the way, so he's got 70 move resist at this point, ends up in rank 4. Now, in theory, obviously with 70 move resist, that should be extremely unlikely, but because it doesn't check his move resist when somebody gets pulled, that's not how it works. So you'll see Mother's Embrace right there, right off the bat. He's already in rank 3, so my Leper, again, 70 move resist is in rank 3 off of 1 move, because the Jester and Highwayman both failed their checks and got pulled forward. And then you'll see right after this, good old Black Phillip gets the pull right there. So in 2 moves, he got pulled to rank 4. Now, obviously, that's relatively pretty extreme, but even if, you know, he only got moved to rank 3 through that, or only got moved rank 2, obviously that would still feel pretty bad. That feels pretty. Yeah, I know it's how shuffle works in this game, right? So it's understandable that having perfect move resist is not going to fix the issue. But with the Leper specifically, because of how punishing it is, that he gets moved to different ranks, it does feel pretty bad. So I don't think just giving him extra move resist, meaning like if you gave him an extra 20 or 30%, I don't think it would fix the issue with him being constantly kind of moved around. It would help. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad idea, but I've seen it kind of set as sort of an end-all, be-all that would fix his issues because it would stop him from being moved out of rank, but I just don't think it's that easy of a solution. So obviously, as it stands, he does have Bash. He does have Bash in his Immobilize, but I think they should make this, at very least on Mastery, if not Unmastered, make this 2 Immobilizes. I don't think there's any reason not to do that. Bash, because if let's say you want to permanently keep him immobilized, permanently keep him in rank 1, which you kind of is like it's not a bad playstyle because of, especially in certain fights, because of how bad shuffles can hurt him, and I'll get into that more. But if you want to keep him permanently mobilized, you just bash every turn. That's literally it. And I don't think that's very. I just don't think that's a very fun way of going about it. If you get Strong Shackles, the trinket that immobilizes on hit and then bash, like, you should be able to, if anything, you should have to bash every other turn. So let's say bash, he gets 2 immobilizes, then next you can chop or you can do whatever, and then you would bash again. Like, in theory, if you were really, really worried about him getting moved, that would be a best way to go about it. So I think at the very least, mastered, if not unmastered, I think they should really bash at the very least, if not another ability having an immobilize also. I think bash at the very least needs to have 2 immobilizes. So one thing I would like to see them work on with the Leper is his rank inflexibility. And what I mean by that is shuffles are inevitable in this game. You're going to get moved around. Even if he has, as I mentioned with the clip, even if he has a million move resist, the hero behind him could get pulled forward. Or, you know, even if they added my bash idea, eventually there's going to be some sequence of events where he's going to get shuffled around alongside every other character. So the question is, how does he deal with that? And the answer is not well. So do you know how many abilities, out of his 11 abilities, how many can be used in rank 4? 1. And I'm not saying Chop should be used in rank 4. I'm not saying, you know, Intimidate. I'm not saying any of these good abilities should be usable in rank 4. But just as a single, just sort of like filler turn. 1. He can use 1 in rank 4 and it's Revenge, which fucking sucks, so you're probably not running it anyways. And it has a 3-turn cooldown and a use limit. Let's say go into rank 3. Let's say he gets pushed to rank 3 somehow. Do you know how many abilities that he can use in rank 3? Out of his 11, 3. And it's Revenge, Ruin, which again, 3-turn cooldown, 2 usage limit. If you're even running Ruin, because Ruin sucks anyway, so you're probably not running that. And then Withstand, 3-turn cooldown, 2 use limit. So the reason why that matters, hear me out. The reason why that matters, let's say Leper gets moved to rank 3, right? Let's say you have, for example, a Jester on your team. So you have Jester that can battle ballad and play out people. And he can fix the rank like that. Or let's say you have Runaway here, right? So you have Runaway. She can Dragonfly or she can run and hide, which will move the Leper up. But he doesn't have any ability, essentially, in rank 3 or 4 that he can use just as a sort of filler turn. So just to do anything, just to have any amount of progress. You know, you're talking like a Solemnity, something like that. Solemnity is a really strong ability, but even like Reflection. Reflection cannot be used in the 3 rank. Why? This ability is not good. Like, would it matter if he could use Reflection in rank 3? And again, not trying to say Chop, not trying to say Intimidate, these really good abilities, not even Break, could be usable in rank 3 or 4, but he doesn't have a filler ability that he can use back there. Solemnity doesn't have. Solemnity can't be used in rank 3. Reflection can't be used in rank 3. Like, it just feels really bad because you would love to have a filler turn where you could. Let's say he gets moved to rank 3 and he happens to be kind of low. Perfect. I'll use Solemnity, and then I'll use Jester, or I'll use Runaway, or whoever else to get him back into the rank. But at least I get to do something. You don't get to do anything. You just have to manually move him forward. Now, is that asking too much of the game for him to have that sort of flexibility? No, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's look at the Man-at-Arms, for example. Man-at-Arms is a starter character, so he should be more fun to play than, you know, unlockable characters, right? So this is kind of a different, it's not exactly an apples to apples comparison, but to show, you know how many of his 11 abilities that he can use in rank 4? 6. He can use Defender, Bolster, Hold the Line, Bellow, Retribution, and Command. He can use all of those in rank 4. And this is for a hero that has Hold the Line to move his ass all the way back up. And then he can even move forward manually too. So this is Man-at-Arms is a really, really flexible character. Like, why can he use Bellow in rank 4 or Retribution or Command? If we were going off the Leper, if the Leper was the base and we said he's the perfect level of balance, why would any of these be usable in rank 4? And again, I'm not saying Leper should be the Man-at-Arms by any means, but we could probably give Leper a little bit of love. And then if you say to rank 3, he can use 7 abilities in rank 3. 7 abilities in rank 3, again, compared to 3 of the Leper. So let's compare another similar character. So this sort of frontline sort of kind of tank a little bit. So let's talk about the Flagellant. The Flagellant, do you know how many abilities that he can use in rank 4? Again, compared to 1 of the Leper, he can use 6. He can use Fester, Deathless, Endure, Lash's Gift, Suffer, and Undying. 6 abilities that he can use in rank 4 if he happens to get shuffled. Obviously, he's you can make him a little more, you know, you can ease the constrictions a little bit, or restrictions on him a little bit because of death, obviously, blah blah blah, right? So again, not completely an apples to apples comparison, but it's a good example. If you extend that to rank 3, how many can you use in rank 3? 8. So it's those 6 I named plus Necrosis and plus Lash's Gift. So Man-at-Arms has 6 that he can use in rank 4, 7 he can use in rank 3, and then Man-at-Arms has, or Flagellant, sorry, has 6 that he can use in rank 4, 8 he can use in rank 3. So let's talk about Crusader. Let's go Crusader. Again, another similar character. Crusader has 5 abilities that he can use in rank 3 and 4. So you have Inspiring Cry, you have Rallying Cry, you have Holy Lance, Radiance, and Tenacity. So those are both all usable in rank 3 and rank 4. Again, Leper, 1 that he can use in rank 4, and 3 he can use in rank 3. So to get these numbers out, the Leper is not even within, you know, if you talk about, if Leper, let's say Leper was the base balance basically of this game. So you talk about an ability like Tenacity. Is it nice that Tenacity can be used in rank 4? Hell yeah. But if Leper was the base of this game, why is Tenacity, Rallying Cry, Fester, Suffer, like, why are these abilities able to be used in rank 3 and 4? Why is there these flexibility put on other characters but not the Leper? And again, I'm not saying that these should be, I'm not saying that overnight they should make it so Rallying Cry can't be used in every rank, blah blah blah. What I'm trying to say is I want to bring the Leper up to those levels, at least a little bit. Let's talk about Hellion. With the Flagellant, by the way, the Flagellant can move 2 manually. So in theory, you can make an argument, why does he need all these abilities in rank 4 if he can just move 2 anyways? You just have a turn moving 2, for example. So let's talk about, again, let's talk about Hellion. How many can Hellion use in rank 4? She can use 3. So she has Adrenaline Rush, Breakthrough, and Raucous Revelry. So 3, relatively low. But again, she has Breakthrough as an ability which moves her forward too. So it's pretty good. So how many can she move if you extend that to rank 3? How many more can she use? She can use 6 in total. So the 6 end up being Adrenaline Rush, as I said, Raucous Revelry, Breakthrough, Bloodlust, Toe-to-Toe, which obviously you're not really going to be probably using Toe-to-Toe in rank 3 because in Locker in rank 2, blah, blah, blah. And then If It Bleeds. So as we can see, Leper falls behind with his just sort of rank flexibility. So you talk about what abilities should be used in rank 3. I have Reflection, like an ability that should be used in every rank. So at the very least, if he gets shuffled to rank 4, and let's say you have a team that's particularly can move people around, you're like, okay, well, at least I can use Reflection, right? Do you have even Reflection on the bar? Probably not. I think in all likelihood they're gonna add some stuff to this, kind of like how they did with Ounce of Prevention, to make this a little better running. You know, you're talking about something like debuff resist, at least a little bit of debuff resist unmastered would be good, something like that. Solemnity probably could be usable in rank 3. I know it's a really strong ability, but if you want to keep the usage limit on it, I don't think it feels good if he gets moved outside of, you know, he gets moved into the 3 rank and he can't use Solemnity. You know, if there's a situation where he gets crit and it moves him back and it does a lot of damage to him and you would like him to heal, you just kind of can't, and that just feels bad. I would even like Purge be usable in rank 2 personally. This isn't so strong of an ability that it needs to only be usable for rank 2. Or you could say it is only usable in rank 1, but it can hit rank 1 and rank 2. You know, I could see why Courageous Abandon, which in the past was a rank hits from rank 1, hits rank 1. I can see why that is like that. I can see why Bleed Out is like that. Those are strong abilities. Purge is not a strong ability, and I think especially with them taking away Demon's Pull unmastered as a full team combat clear, I think it would help if you had Purge. It would give him an extra little bit of kind of like a little bit of a niche, an extra niche to kind of have some strength. It wouldn't be big, but I think it would at least be very nice, because typically I tend to run something like this. So the way that I play Leper, if he gets moved out of rank 1, he loses Purge and Intimidate. And then obviously you have Solemnity that has a usage limit. You have Withstand that has a usage limit, so you have to be careful about how you use those. And the only thing he can do from rank 2 is Chop. Now, obviously, does my playstyle is not objectively correct or anything. I'm not saying they should make changes based on my playstyle, but it's an example of a way of a solid, at least, way to play Leper, and not having him lose 2 abilities, getting moved out of a single rank. He really doesn't have a lot of ways to avoid getting moved out of that rank. Feels pretty bad. So if you guys have any other ideas as far as how Leper could get reworked, or ideas that you would like on him, I'm not even going to talk about the paths, honestly, because there's a ton of ways they can go with the paths. You know, like I said at the beginning, I would hate to be tasked with doing a rework for Leper, because I think it's difficult, and I think there's a lot of things that you probably could be changed about him. So it's not like a path, you know, like I think like Ritualist is one that I've mentioned where it probably just needs a couple touch-ups. I think Leper in general probably needs a lot of changes. But if you have any ideas, you're welcome to let me know if you have any feedback in general on this video or whatever. You can post here. You can come to my Twitch channel. You can come to my Discord, just in the description. I just wanted to have a video just sort of talk about Leper, and I would really like to have him be good. And I hope that they do a good job with the rework. I think they will. The only thing that I'm truly worried about, because I like the reworks in general that Red Hook has come up with. The only thing I'd really worried about is that if they try to keep his theme a little too restrictive, sorry, constricting. If they try to keep it a little, if they try to keep him a little too much like they have in DD1 and DD2, I don't know if he's going to come out on the other side that much better. But I would like to see them kind of drop the negative theme a little bit, and make him wrong. So either way, I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and stop by my Twitch channel and join my Discord and stuff like that. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Please check me out. Hope the reworks will be fun for the Leper. Have a nice rest of your day. Bye.